What's your popular kid at school turned outcast story? Story 1. This kid in middle school used to talk to everyone. He had nice stuff his parents got him, and everyone thought he was tough and could fight until one day he started on a special needs kid. Nobody had ever actually seen the popular kid fight, he just was excellent at intimidation. Now, a lot of the special needs kids in my area weren't just students who were mentally challenged, but had overall learning disabilities. Many of the kids came from very tough homes, and the special needs kid who the popular kid messed with was an absolute savage. He grew up in a pretty tough part of town, but was really a gentle giant. He could play football, he was muscular, he could do everything the regular students could do except speak properly. A minor speech impediment. The popular kid challenged him to a one-on-one fight and got his kicked by the special needs kid. I'm talking blood everywhere, his clothes got ripped, one of his sneakers landed like 10 feet away, and to top it all off, he even tried running away after the first few punches. The special needs kid grabbed him and pulled him back. It was a massacre. The popular kid not only lost all of his influence, but didn't even have the guts to come back to school for like a week. If I ever saw instant karma, it would have had to have been on this day because he was quiet as a mouse the rest of the years through high school. Story 2. Robbie was a big, huge bully. I used to play football with him, watched a coach go full psycho on him, literally kicking him in the butt all the way off the field because he spit on a player, and the goddamn gall of it all just sent the coach into a rage. And Robbie mocked him the whole way off the field. But when that kid hit you, it was like a freight train. He was always very dumb and angry and rabid. He teased everyone for everything. It somehow remained pretty popular in the upper echelon because he hit like a beast and won football games. Then one day, it was so weird. He came to school in a sweater with an unironed button down underneath. He usually came to school in torn shirts and basketball shorts and was generally a disheveled mess. He had an older brother, Ronnie, who never looked like any of that, so we knew he wasn't poor, he was just being Robbie. So this was a big deal, and it was bizarre, and when people asked him what was up with it, he would just say, "I'm gay now." It was so strange. He did not lose any intensity, but he kept saying, "I'm gay now. I like boys, okay? And I want a boyfriend. You want to go out?" I saw him get genuinely upset when people laughing at him. He'd just scream, "It's not a joke. I'm gay, you..." Nobody knew what to do with it. We were a country school. We had a gay kid, a kid Robbie had bullied. Now Robbie was trying to hang out with him. Nobody wanted to touch that weirdness with a 10-foot pole. We figured best case scenario, the dude had lost a bet. But then he did it the next day and the next. For months, he kept dressing a Robbie version of preppy and proclaiming his gayness. Pretty sure he got an earring at some point. If I remember correctly, he later recanted all of this and screamed down anyone that brought it up. Maybe it was a legit attempt to come out, but he just Robbied the whole thing up until it was unpalatable. He's in prison now. I don't even know where to start with this, but it sounds like Robbie probably had some problems either at home and/or that needed some attention and therapy. I don't know if he was actually trying to come out and turn over a new leaf at the same time, but I'm kind of sad to hear how it was handled, but not surprised with it being high school kids. I don't know. Robbie sounds like he was dealing with some, and I'm sorry to hear he ended up in jail. I hope he's able to rehabilitate and turn himself around. Story 3. Not an outcast, but we found out, sadly, the double life she had. She's a friend of mine, school sweetheart, boys fawning over her, and a heartbreaker since she seemed to always turn boys down. She had that good girl next door persona, the type boys would love to introduce to their fam. She had money spending issues, borrowed money and never paid them back, became a habitual liar. The first and last time she conned me was for my tuition fees. She hitched a ride with me and saw the cash I was carrying to pay for the semester. It was my parents' money, and any change should be given back to them. Begged me to loan her an amount to pay off her tuition. I kept saying no and gave me a sob story. This is my dear friend, and my red flags were going off. I gave her some large amount, but not all. Immediately hopped out of the car. We were heading supposedly to the enrollment building to pay, making an excuse why she isn't heading to pay. Dodged me for 2 years to pay off the loan, made excuses. I paid back my mom and lied for her sake, as my mom would have raised. I only got a fraction of the loan back. From there, I saw signs of her double persona, sweet and charming yet conniving. Borrowed money to buy things to live up to whatever fashion hype. If not money, expensive clothes and equipment. She also bailed on major class projects she promised to take the lead on, almost causing her classmates' graduation eligibility. I heard through the rumor mill that she slept around, and from a family member's account during a sleepover, she tried her luck on my cousin but nearly got caught by my mom. Around the time this all came to light, people politely kept their distance from her being that girl. She got pregnant, became a single mom, and used her daughter a few times to borrow money again. The sad part was, a few years ago, she legit got diagnosed with a type of cancer, and her treatments were expensive. She nearly got zero financial help from friends and former classmates to help her out due to her lying history. The good news, cancer was caught early and she's doing fairly well. She's working and earning a decent living and seems to have turned over a new leaf since. I'm happy to hear how this story turned around in the end, and the OP wasn't vindictive or relishing in her suffering. It sucks because I'm sure some of this behavior was learned from her home life, but whether or not I feel for her, her actions led to folks distancing themselves from her when she was at her lowest, and that sadly could have been it. But I'm glad she got the chance to learn from that and turn her life around. Story 4. Popular guy. He kinda remained popular but was outcast for a while. He bullied some kid and the kid disappeared. Everyone thought the kid committed self-termination, but he just came back one day and said his family went on vacation. Popular kids remained popular. Popular girl. I wouldn't call her popular, but she had a huge clique of friends, and, well, they would bully people they didn't like or wanted to remove, as in change schools. My first real crush was forced to change schools because of their bullying. She would do things like find out information about you, send you fake love letters, or find out where you live, and whenever they would drive by, throw stuff at you. Once I got hit on the side of the head with a roll of pennies. Everyone laughs about that one. LOL, I wish someone would throw money at me. The concussion didn't seem worth it. Anyway, back to the girl. She convinced these freshmen that they would fill a fun Jack-style video for this new website called YouTube or something. He was supposed to do a ghost riding the whip thing where he was on the roof of the car while no one appeared to be driving it. She was driving it, and while the kid was surfing on the roof, she accelerated as fast as she could down the street while the kid tumbled off and fell into a coma. She said it was his fault. It was his idea after all. No one was buying it. She was hated, and only a few of her friends remained with her. She got popular with freshmen later for offering intercourse to them, but a few visits to the police later made her stop. She got pregnant immediately after high school and bragged about keeping her man. I have no idea where she is now or how she is doing, and I'd like to keep it that way. Story 5. My school doesn't really have popular people. Everyone just kind of has their friends. Some people have more than others, but it's not like a social hierarchy. However, this one girl did something that rightfully destroyed her reputation. So basically, this girl was pretty well liked, asked out this boy that no one ever expected her to ask out. It was unexpected because he was less well known, but in general, everyone liked him. They had a cute relationship for about 2 months. He started sitting with her friends at lunch and was becoming closer with them. Well, one of the girl's friends found out she was cheating on him. She told the boy and her friends, and he was really upset about it. When the girl found out people knew the truth, she said she was only dating him for answers on homework and that she never actually liked him. Once it got around, no one really looked at her the same. She tried to talk about him and the friend that exposed her a few times, but she was either ignored or totally shut down. This year, she's not at our school, and no one misses her. Oh, that's a rough one. If you use people like that, you'll get a reputation for it. And then how can anyone ever be sure you aren't just using them when you're trying for a real friendship? Sadly, that is a path some folks start down early in life and never really recover from. Please like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day. Story 6. Majority of the football team was doing steroids, but he was caught red-handed and was where all the outrage was thrown at. It was kind of up. He was always nice to everybody and never picked or bullied anyone. He also gave back to people that helped him with homework. Some kid helped him with math, so he would work out with that same dude after school when it was not football season. After he got caught with steroids, everybody acted like he was a piece of bully that was reasonable for cheating. In truth, he was just a dude that took steroids and busted his and saw amazing results. Steroids were already there. Local media ran the story and pretty much almost named him. He was under 18, so they walked a fine line. The self-righteous indignation of everyone was disturbing. I was on the football team and also was on roids. I knew other people who were on the same. A lot of people on roids loved pointing the finger at him. It was really. Story 7. I was best friends with the most popular guy in school for a couple years back in middle school. He was great, but the rest of the popular kids, meh, they were all cooler than me in my opinion, but he saved me a seat at lunch every day and we had our own lame handshake and all that. But that whole group never felt like it really fit me, aside from him obviously. So one day at lunch, I decided to sit with the nerdy kids who played Magic. Never really got my popularity back after that, and I think I hurt my friend's feelings because he was never the same to me after that. It was never my intention to hurt him, but that's not the story of consequence kids anticipate. Never got a chance to reconnect with him, unfortunately. Cancer is a b****, and it took him a few years later. We left him an open chair at high school graduation. On the plus side, I'm still friends with some of the nerdy kids, and we're in our 30s now. Magic isn't my thing, but those nerdy kids were great. They taught me that it doesn't matter what others think of you if you love yourself. Sounds like the OP learned an important lesson that pretty much everyone in high school will hopefully eventually learn. All those cliques and the popularity, that stuff starts in school and tends to stay in school. But real friendships and your passions, well, those stick around for life. Man, my comments this video have all been really serious and full of advice. And stuff, I don't know. Story 8. She was pretty and fairly popular, and near the end of the school year told everyone she had cancer. We were approaching the end of grade 7 at the time. Eventually, literally everyone knew, teachers, other parents, other grades, etc., and it kind of united everyone who weren't typically friends, and that was kind of cool. Until one day, maybe a week or two in, a pair of girlfriends go to visit her at her parents' house, and they bring it up and discover it was a hoax. She paid off a lot of people and lost all her friends after that. Gained new ones eventually, but what a god weird thing to lie about. Story 9. It was quick and ruthless. Most popular guy in school was the leader of the popular clique, but he and the rest of them was a total. One day, he sat down with a quiet kid at lunch who liked to sit by himself. He asked the quiet kid if he wanted a friend to eat with. This was an obvious attempt to get everyone to see how nice he is, which is creepy already, but it came out like he was calling the kid a loser right to his face. God, you're such a said the quiet kid, getting up and moving to a different table. Whole school saw it. It was like that episode of Doctor Who with the silence. Everyone woke up and realized what a bag he and his cronies were. They weren't popular after that. Reap what you sow, folks. Not to say that the popular guy couldn't turn around a new leaf, but fixing how people see you after you're like that takes time and a real show of effort. You don't get to just do one quick act for redemption and suddenly be seen as great. Story 10. Wholesome for once, I guess. All popular kids in my school were complete heads that bullied others. This fella, king of the hill, starts dating a girl from another school that was friends with one of the bullied kids. The kid told the girl what her boyfriend does in the school, so the girl threatened to break up with him if he didn't change his ways. He stopped socializing with the cool folks and started getting bullied by them, and none of the other kids wanted to warm up to him. He was a loner at school, but he made his girlfriend happy, and he was happy. Story 11. Best answer to this happens between elementary and middle school. Our elementary school was small, and we fed into a middle school with a much bigger school. Think 20% of us and 80% of them. Most popular kid showed up on the first day after only knowing what it's like to be the coolest kid in the small school and tried to start with some random kid, who was with 11 of his friends, to show how cool and top dog he was to everyone, I guess. Yeah, those 12 guys beat him up, and then made fun of him for years. He isn't cool anymore, just that fast. By high school, nobody cared anymore, but he was never really popular again. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.